Lord.
Good morning from Scotty, Ray, and Candace. As
morning.
we begin our Wednesday morning, this is Hump Day.
It is.
And we're going to do things a little different this morning. We got special guests in the studio today. As I mentioned the other day that my wife, Angie Ray, has gotten this weird, I don't guess you'd call it weird, she's gotten this thing to where she wants to do chickens.
Everybody does, though. I want chickens.
And she's built a condominium out back, and she's got these chickens. And I had no idea that chickens were mailed to you. But she
Yeah.
wanted a particular chicken that had hair on top of its head. Does that make sense?
Feathers.
Feathers, yeah. Okay.
But it looks like they'll look like they have a little wig on top of their head.
Yeah, so she had to really track down these particular chickens. And, well, we've got some examples of some chickens.
I forget.
And
do you know the names of them? I forget what they.
we hadn't named the chickens
I mean,
yet.
the type chickens they are, because I don't know.
Okay, all right, chickens are coming. All right, which chicken are we getting first? We're going to yellow chicken?
Here, you getting a chicken too?
I'm getting a chicken too. I'm telling you, these little critters. Okay, and they're
They're
trying to
looking
fly
like
off.
they want to, take flight. Look,
The brown
isn't
one.
it cute? Can you hear it? Like, can you hear it?
Oh, they chirp. Now this is the one over here that likes to get around everywhere. Let me see though. I guess so.
I'm
Let's
just
see here.
putting a little paper towel underneath it in case it gets the urge to.
To go somewhere.
Yeah.
All
I
right, well,
have to go to
that's
work
the old
after this.
chicken there.
Gosh.
And
Flew
They're
out.
They're in a little box, but they're trying to escape.
Yeah, this one.
They're so
This one
cute.
keeps trying to fly everywhere.
all right, let's see.
The brown one.
None of these are the ones that have the fluffy hair on their
That-
head.
there
Is
we go.
that one?
This is going to be one that looks like it has a little wig.
Okay. And then but this one loves to ride all the time. He just really loves to sit in your hand.
I
And
would laugh if he took off and jumped on your hat.
I wouldn't doubt anything at this
sit him
point.
on your hat?
No, that's okay.
This one would.
And
This is
But-
a bully.
it's great entertainment if you don't have chickens, especially when they're this age. Now, when they get bigger, I don't know if we're gonna be able to bring them chickens up here.
I guess this is the ones, or no, this is the ones to me that look like they have a chipmunk stripe down the back of them.
Yeah, I don't know if you can get
Can
that
you
up
see
toward
that?
that camera up there.
Like turn it. I wonder if you turn it around. You see that? It looks like it's got a chipmunk stripe.
Yeah. So
And these have like a little pinkish color on their fur back here.
but it's chicken day.
Hey, that one's just chilling in your hand.
I know.
Oh, I'm seriously
I got
this
the wild one, I think. Well,
this-
no, you
This
might,
one's the
you might have the
wild
wild one.
this one. If you touch the box that they're in, he just jumps in your hand every single time.
They are growing like wildfire. Though. Just like 2 days ago, it seemed like, what, 2 or 3 days ago?
Yeah.
This past weekend, they were like tiny.
So we're gonna make you like that. What's his name, Jack Hannah? We'll just let you do all the animal holding
yeah,
every
as long
time.
as you don't have a snake or a spider.
Oh, this one
And I'll
pooped
pick
in
up
my
a
hand.
frog and a lizard and everything.
Well, here you go.
Oh, that's not gonna do nothing. I gotta go wash my hands.
Okay, here, stick them back in the box there. Chicken day,
This
chicken
one
day.
might like. try
Well, this
to
one's just
jump
going to
out.
come on up my arm here. He's really enjoying this little ride here.
This is gonna be funny if he dives off into my lap.
There, do it. I see you.
So, chickens, I appreciate the little chicken visit.
Yeah,
As long
that's
as I don't
fun.
jump flight while I'm going downstairs.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Oh,
And what surprises me is when chickens were brought in, I asked Candace, "Do you remember Chicken Truck?" And she looked at me like a cow looking at a new gate.
Well, you know how I never know what songs he's talking about.
John
My
Anderson,
sister.
Chicken Truck, behind it I'm stuck. Anyway,
Yeah.
we're gonna play that for
I
you
said
later.
John Anderson songs, just a swinging.
I'm
that's
just
a
an
song
old
I
chunk
remember.
of coal. I just
Well,
come.
now that one I do remember.
I just come home to count the memories. Boy, you want to talk about a song that was really painted a picture of somebody that, and it was about divorce and you know how many divorces happen. He pulls up in the driveway. I saw flaking paint and broken window pane, a mailbox barely standing by the drive. I could almost read the name. And, you know, you just live that moment with him, a swing set and forgotten toys where little
Oh,
girls
yeah.
and boys used to play.
Yeah.
And then it goes on into the song, the Johnson boy from down the street was wanting to know if the kids could come and play. And I said, I guess not today. He couldn't tell them that he'd got a divorce.
Oh gosh.
And it's just sad, painted a picture. And John Anderson was just so good at
That's
doing
what I
that.
love about country music, though, because
Yeah.
it does tell a story.
It
And
used
you can,
to.
and you can relate. Well, yeah, it used to, and you could relate to it.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah.
You know, and one of
Nothing
Daryl
like country
Singletary's last songs that he had before he passed away was Real Estate. where he walks up on the doorstep. He's gotten a divorce, and they accidentally left the door. There's a lot of real estate, and I forget how it was a clever play on words.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's enough of my music thoughts for today.
Well, yeah, I miss that kind of country music though.
Yeah,
now it's just repetitory.
It
the
is.
same thing
Ooh, she
over
got
and
shorts
over.
on.
It's
Let's
not
drink
really
a beer.
Yeah, it's not really too much of a storyline. I mean, some of it is, but most of it's like, I don't know, about drinking whiskey and,
Tailgates
beating
and
cars,
bonfires.
snatching women around the bar. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
that's basically
Anyway.
what happens out there.
Right. So,
Well, it is Wednesday. It is Hump Day. How do you feel?
glad that it's Wednesday. I'd be happier if it was Friday, though.
And we can always tell that it's getting a little warmer because we actually see some skin on her.
Yeah.
She usually has the wrap around her neck. You can't even see her
Yeah,
neck.
the scarf
Yeah.
type stuff. Yeah. It's going to be warm today, though. So I even put my little boy in
76.
shorts this morning. So
Now, this weekend, we're getting to about 85 degrees. So be ready.
that's like pre-summer.
It is. And then rain will move in on late Sunday. Slight chance there, and we got some at the beginning of the week. Most of the storms are going to be to the northwest of us over the weekend up in Kansas City and those areas there, up near Oklahoma City as well. So not exactly near us. That's the good news.
Yeah, that
there.
is good. We don't want that. But I'm looking forward to having some pretty warmer weather.
So what's on the
so
agenda today? What do I not need to forget?
What do you not need to forget?
Yeah,
Or what do
just-
I not need to forget? No, I'm just working today as far as my agenda. I mean, I got to go to work. And
We'll give you the details on the food giveaway. That happens this morning. We'll show up a slide here in just a little bit. That's going to be out at the Lauderdale County Agri Center beginning at 11. Go early, line up, so you can get all
Right.
that good stuff.
yeah, because they do. I mean, they had like 50 people there one morning at 8 o'clock already. So
Yeah,
get there early. Even though the food truck, a lot of times, like I think maybe last week or the week before, it didn't get there till 10. But they never know when it's going to get there. I think Sheriff Solly said it could get there at 10. It could get there sometime at 12. I mean, they don't ever know.
Right.
So just be prepared. Get in line.
Let's see. On this date, and me and Angie, when we went on our honeymoon some 30 years ago, we went to Nashville. Ken called ahead and made some arrangements for us, and we got to go see Nashville Now. And that was a big deal, and it just so happened that night that Scott McQuaig was performing on Nashville Now, national television, him and Britt. And today is Ralph Emery's birthday, born in 1933. And he's still around.
Is he? I
Yeah.
wondered about that. I wondered if he was still alive.
I did that show for 10 years. I did not realize that because the Nashville Network kind of sold out to CMT and it all became one. But the Nashville Network, at least on the rural route for us, was a big deal back in the day. That's how we got all of our country news.
Yeah. So he would probably be close to 90.
Yeah, right at it.
Because, Mickey Gilley yesterday, he was 19.
See, my dad was born in
36.
33, and he's been passed away for 6 years, so he'd be about 87.
Okay.
Right at 90, as you
Yeah.
said there.
But, yeah, we used to watch this all
Crook
the time.
and Chase, the dancing show that was on there.
My mama and papa watched this every day.
Wild Horse.
Every day. Yeah, Wild Horse Cafe.
Saloon.
So, Wild Horse Saloon. White Horse Cafe is what
Yeah.
they had. White Horse Cafe and Wild Horse Saloon. Yeah. But they had the line dancing.
It was good.
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, we would get in the living room and just dance with it.
Yeah.
I mean, because line dancing was a big thing back then.
Doing the boot,
It
scoot,
was
and boogie.
fun. Yeah, it was fun.
And that
I
was
miss
down on, if you've ever been to Nashville, Printer's Alley is where that was.
Okay.
A neat section there just off of the main, a block away from where the new Country Music Hall of Fame is now.
I've only been downtown Nashville and like to those like Music Row. I've been there once.
Yeah, I've been,
but it was so neat. But I was pregnant with Alden, so I think I was about 7 months pregnant. So I had swelling feet and all that, and you have to walk everywhere. And,
Now,
you know,
it's neat to go in
so-
Tootsie's. That if you ever get to go to Tootsie's. It's one of the most famous I don't know if and you think Tootsie's some big place. It is a narrow little bitty building.
Yeah.
It's 2-story, but you go in and it's got the pictures of all the famous folks that have performed in there.
Is that Tootsie's Orchid Lounge? Or
Yes.
is that okay? That's what I thought. We
And
didn't go
it's-
there, but
joins the back of the Grand Ole Opry, to where Hank would stumble off stage, go have a drink or two, and then try to make it back to stage.
I got to go in the Jimmy Buffett's restaurant, Margaritaville
I don't know if
restaurant.
I've ever been to that one.
It was neat. I mean, they had a little gift shop off to the side, but it's just basically just a restaurant. You know.
But a fun town to go to. Of
It
course,
is.
it's so many people there now. I get lost easy.
I think I saw where Miranda Lambert's going to have a bar on there.
She's
She'll
gonna
be
buy
the
one?
first female artist to have her own bar.
So a lot of, Toby Keith has done it. There's several of them.
Yeah.
Blake Shelton has a lot of restaurants now also.
But I would love to go back. I tell you, if you've never been, it was the 4th of July that we went, and they have the best fireworks.
Yeah, they do.
display. I mean, it's like something that you see off of TV, like a major fireworks display, and it was very pretty down by the river. So.
General Jackson Showboat. That's a good thing to go on too. I think it was around 1984. I was somewhere around 12 years old, and I remember sitting down watching this show for the first time, and I got my first introduction to Chuck Norris, Invasion USA. Who remembers that? Chuck has a birthday today. Do the arithmetic on him. 1940, he's 80 years old today.
That just doesn't seem possible either.
No, because I watch him all the time, still
I know.
the reruns
Yeah,
on...
and you just see him how he was.
Yeah. And it gets burned in your mind that they're still that age forever.
I bet he's got some color on his hair though nowadays. to keep
I
him
bet
looking
Chuck's had a few
young.
other things. Chuck Norris. And this was one of those guys that was just great. Daryl Singletary would have had a birthday today. He died back in 2018 at the age of 46. A great traditional singer. Hate that he's gone. Let's see what else went on this. Oh, it was 1979. James Brown thought, just like you, I need to go to Nashville. And he did. He made his Opry debut. And there was a lot of folks going backstage going, what is James doing up there?
Yeah. So what did he sing? I
I
wonder.
do not remember what he sang out there, but I'm sure it had something to do with I Feel Good.
I know that's what I was just fixing to say. He might put a country span on I Feel
But
Good.
that was a picture of him, and ironically, there's not a lot of pictures from the performance, but that was one with him and Porter there on stage at the Opry back in '79. Golly.
Yeah.
Another big one who has a birthday today.
Carrie Underwood. Yeah.
Boy, she took country music by storm.
She did. And if you go back and look at her first, like her audition for American Idol, it's like a 360-degree turnaround.
Her looks or her voice?
Well, her looks. I mean, because like she was just a,
Plain.
just plain Jane country girl. I mean, it's pretty, it's just naturally pretty, but
It shows you what
Yeah.
makeup and dim lights can do to you.
yeah, and just real timid acting, and real shy. Seemed like a little bit shy.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's come a long way.
This happens to so many people who hit it big. They can't handle fame for whatever reason, and they turn to drugs. And cocaine was the reason for this. 1988, Andy Gibb passed away. Affected his heart from so much cocaine from years of abuse.
Yeah.
Don't do drugs is what we're telling you. Just because
That's
you're
awful.
famous don't mean you need it. And this was that day
I remember
that
this.
the chicks did it, and their career was over. They ain't really been heard of since. In 2003, they stood on a stage in England and ran George Bush down and said they were ashamed of him. It would be by droves that country music fans would never buy another CD or listen to them ever again.
And I guess that was a cancel culture back then. A little
It
bit.
was.
That if you canceled everybody that was against Donald Trump, you wouldn't have anybody left, would you?
No, you wouldn't. 1997, and I didn't watch it every week, but I did watch a few episodes of this. Buffy the Vampire Slayer came on. It premiered. And that was a big show.
I know it really was, and it ran a good long time too.
They even went on, I want to say it had spinoffs. What was the guy, the vampire? He got his own show from there. I can't
don't
remember his
know.
name, but he got his own show.
I don't know, but I remember the Twilight series. Maybe the vampires were big back in
The 90s.
the day. Yeah. Well, not too many years ago. It was
Well,
all
they done-
that Twilight movies. I never got into that. I watched a couple of them, but to me, it's just so far fetched. I don't know. But there's people who dress like that.
Well, Oak Alley Plantation, that huge home that's in Louisiana, Pretty Boy that does the Mission Impossible movies. What's his name?
You're talking about Tom Cruise?
Tom Cruise. Wasn't he in Interview with a Vampire? Wasn't he in that? Or was it Brad Pitt?
No, he was in that.
But
Brad
they
Pitt
filmed
might
up
have been
there.
in it too, but I know Tom Cruise was in it.
And maybe some people get into that vampire thing.
I know, it's just kind of
My memories of vampires, and who remembers this, is going to age me because I was a little bitty fella, and my maid Mayhet would not miss it. So that's how I got to watching this. Dark Shadows.
Oh.
Do you remember that?
I do remember, but I didn't watch it. I didn't like scary stuff, though. I'm not a big scary.
He lived in the coffin and
Twilight Zone.
Barnabas, that was his name.
Oh, really? Well, Twilight Zone that was the weird show that was on back when I was little, too. A lot of times,
Yeah.
Go, da-na-na-na-na.
Oh, yeah. Then Alfred Hitchcock.
Oh, yeah. I just remember the one of when they were flying in the plane and something was on the wing and it was tearing the wing off the plane. I'm just, I didn't like scary stuff, though.
But, you bring that up, and I noticed Nickelodeon and this is, I don't know how parents feel about this. They're going to do a spooky show on Nickelodeon, and we all know how kids, when they see something scary, they can't sleep at night.
Well, that's what
How is that going to go over with this new little show that they've got coming out that's about stuff like that?
I don't know. My son won't be watching it, though, because I already have a hard enough time trying to get him to go to bed at night.
Yeah,
I heard something. I'm like, yeah, it was probably just the wind. I'm just trying to. But I was scared. I try to be sympathetic with him, though, because I was scared to death to sleep by myself. I mean, I was like 12, and that's no lie. I know that sounds crazy, but I was 12 years old and scared to sleep by myself.
I remember watching that show where that woman come in that guy's house and cook that rabbit in his.
Yeah.
And I worried about
Glenn
that.
Close.
I worried about that for 3 weeks.
I use her a lot of times. I go, that's boil the rabbit crazy right there.
It is. That is a good slogan. But be careful what you do in life. It can come back and haunt you there.
Yeah.
People are like, ooh, boy. All right, let's see here. We need to say some good mornings here. Dean Baskin is up. Good morning, good morning. A pretty day, she said. Appreciate that. Let's see here. Ann Cook, good morning to you. Hope everything's good on Cook Road. She's so popular, she got a road named after her over there.
Really?
Cook Road.
All right.
Also, good morning to, let's see, Donna Peebles. My daddy needs them to go with his others.
Chickens or...
Yeah, oh yeah, that's what you're talking about. I was at a blank there.
I know I was a second ago, and then I figured it was the chicken.
Good morning to Linda Culpepper. Good morning to the two of you. Hope you have a blessed day. And the chickens are too cute.
Yes.
Carolyn Knight said cute chicks also. Charlene Gaddy, I'm trying to talk to my husband into getting chickens for our grandson. Our neighborhood has chickens, and they follow him around like a dog.
I want chickens too, though. I really do. I've been saying it for a while now, but I want, I'd love to have a couple of those little pygmy goats, little miniature pygmy goats. Have you ever seen them? They just jump up and down, and I don't want the real huge ones that get out and go eat all your flowers.
So, are you going to have a free range chicken, or are you going to pin them?
I'd have to pin them up because we have neighbors who have a bunch of dogs, and then we have dogs. So yeah, they would have to stay in a pen. But I hate when people get them tiny pens though.
Oh yeah, they need room.
Yeah, I mean, they don't even hardly have room. All they're really good for is to just lay eggs, and maybe that's all they want them for. But
need a life.
Yeah,
no matter who you are.
Like Angie's pen out here, she has a big, really neat pen.
We'll get some pictures of that eventually. She's got to put the roof back on it. She's got to finish that.
Notice he says she. She is doing this basically.
She's done the majority of it. Yeah, I'll go out and help when she needs a little stretch along the way. But like she built my studio.
I mean, she is really good.
I just stay out of her way because we get into arguments over because my philosophy is when you build something, measure it 4 times before you make a cut.
And she's like, oh, it'll be all right.
Angie eyeballs it. And then we get into arguments over why it didn't turn out square.
Well, women tend to just kind of go with the flow when they're building something, a lot of times. I have used a sheave to nail a nail in the wall. You got
to do what you got to do.
If I can't find the hammer, I'll go get a sheave.
I'll ask her, how much building materials? I don't know. I'm just going to buy a bunch of 2x4s and I'll start and I'll go back and get what I need. Yeah. Figure it out.
Well, I did fix, of course, this is when I was single and stuff, but I fixed a hole. We had a TV above our fireplace. Yeah. And when the TV went out, I had this big, huge hole in the wall, and I didn't want to leave the hole in the wall and just cover it up.
So you good at sheetrock?
Well, I didn't do sheetrock, but I did fix a sheetrock hole where my son was flying across the kitchen and slid on wet feet, and his foot went through the wall, so I had to fix that. But anyway, but I fixed that hole I covered it. I went to Lowe's and got a board and had them cut it. And I was out there with a saw, and when I'm by myself and can think, I can do some stuff, but
I'm slow at building, and I'm not a carpenter, nor do I tend to be one. I've always told Angie that. I can build a deer stand, about it.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I love to do things if I just had more time.
Yeah, and Linda was talking about he'd be 88 this year. Which
Okay.
one were we talking about? For Ralph Emery or
Who was the other one that we just talked about?
Chuck? So it would have been
Norris.
Ralph Emery, 88.
Okay.
Yeah, and good morning to Joyce Godwin. Thank you for watching all the way from Tennessee this morning. We do appreciate it. If you wouldn't mind, share our page so others can see it. Follow it so you can get notifications when weather's bad when we come on live each day to keep you up to date with what's going on. That's just the easiest way to do that. There's a lot going on down at the Lauderdale County Farm Supply. If you haven't been in a while, drop in today. They have things getting ready for spring as it's there. If you need decorations for the yard, they got plenty of that. So you can get your own chicken that you ain't got to feed.
Yeah.
Those are the small kind there. Of course, flowers are coming in daily as we get into spring, and everybody's going to be in the gardens this weekend, getting ready flower beds to digging up and planting for your corn and things, getting ready for your gardens. Also, here, look at the flowers. They just keep going there. Plenty of them.
Those are so pretty.
Is that tulip?
I think that's calla lilies.
Boy, I'm
I
glad
think
you know
that's
these
what that
things.
is. But, usually you just see white ones, but they have
They're
colored ones.
Beautiful.
That's what it looks like to me now. I might be wrong, but
All right. And, of course, they got everything inside there to make sure it doesn't get the frost or anything, at least bitter little coals to take care of you. And if you're looking for sod for your yard, they've got plenty of centipede rolls, $135 a pallet, or you can get it for $4 a roll. And the St. Augustine, that's the grass, if I remember right, that doesn't get as tall. It's a little bit smoother there.
it's thicker.
Yeah.
Yeah. My grandparents had that in their front yard.
Beautiful stuff.
It is.
$180 a pallet or $1.80 a square. Both of that covers about 500 square feet a pallet is what that covers there. So if you're needing sod for your yard, you got some bare spots, you're tired of looking at it, go
I
to
need to get some of that. I do. I need to get some of that because last year I planted some seed, and it come up, but it didn't stay.
Isn't that,
You
man,
know?
this is the way to cure that.
Yeah, I need
You
to do
just got to
this.
get out and water it daily.
Yeah.
Nurture it as it comes along. And, of course, all of your fruit trees and things that you'll need to plant, spruce up the yard, including the insecticides. I think I said that. How did I say it?
How did you say it?
How do you properly say it?
Insecticides.
Whew, boy. Also, fertilizers. For all of that stuff you get there, they handle it. Of course, still disinfect it throughout the store to keep it clean with the virus as it continues across America. Plenty of apparel to choose from, to overalls, to jeans and mobucks and boots. You got to have a good pair of boots to work in. I almost said that one wrong, too.
Yeah.
Georgia boots. They're waterproof, and along with all your seed, feed for your cattle and horse, and guns, they've got it at the Lauderdale County Farm Supply. Drop in and see them today. They will definitely take care of you.
The carnage is coming to your town. The All-Star Monster Truck Tour. See the biggest and wildest monster trucks do battle on a huge course. Plus, see the monsters up close, enjoy the kids' fun zone, and take a ride on a real monster truck. Kids' tickets are just $10, and adults can save up to 60% on tickets. Don't wait. Earlier you buy, the more you save. Get your discounts by clicking here now.
And that's coming this weekend. It's always a lot of fun there. And let's pull up Ricky Bobby's page there out at Why Not Sports Park here and show you here some of the trucks that are going to be out. This is a few of them. Let's pull this up here. These are absolutely fun. If you've never been to a monster truck show, come on out. Check it out.
Yeah, I went. I think I took my older son years ago. We took him, and it was fun. The only thing is, I didn't think it had enough where we went and watched it. I didn't feel like it had enough room for them, to move around in.
Why Not does.
And so, yeah, this ought to be a neat one.
Yeah.
I wonder if you have to get tickets beforehand. I know you can get tickets beforehand, but I wonder, can you pay at the gate?
I'm sure Ricky Bobby will let you do that. And we'll have him Rodney on with us this week to talk about it. Of course, all of the great things coming up. They had the race last week. We'll get all the details from Rodney this week at Why Not to find out what all's going on. Well, as we said, today is Wednesday. It's kind of hump day. We've made it through the middle of the week. Let's see, out in Causeyville, we want to say good morning to Sarah Martin, who's watching. She enjoys watching us. We appreciate it. Let's see here, headlines. Now, a lot of these things that I pull up, I bring up because you may not hear it anywhere else, or it's just why did people do it? This
Like
is one of those stories.
some crazy off the wall stuff, but there's people out there.
Yeah.
This just reminds you there's crazies all over.
We go to California. Now, this didn't happen this week. The story, I think, is innocent as all happened. The murder happened a while back. But this guy kills his wife. It's Christmas Eve, so what does he do not to spoil Christmas? Well, he props her up on the sofa in front of the kids and opens up all the Christmas presents.
I mean, what did they think? She was just asleep?
I don't know. He told the kids that she was drunk, is what he told her. Mom had a little bit too much to drink.
That's awful.
It's just sad. So he's going to be getting what he deserves out of that.
Yeah, he needs to.
She was only 26 years old.
Sick.
26.
I wonder how old the kids were, because, I mean, obviously they weren't old enough to figure it out, you know.
You would assume 4 or 5 years old, but it doesn't go into
that's awful.
all the different details. Just gives you the will. Now, here's another example, and we have to go to Australia for this next story here that's making headlines today. This guy gets pulled over. He's speeding. You know how they always call for backup. So 4 cops are on the scene, and a car loses control and hits the cops. It hits every one of them, and they all die. And this guy stands there while they're dying for 3 minutes and videos the cops dying, taking their last breaths, and taunts them.
That is awful.
Yells at them. And this is going to be one of the first times in Australia that they've sentenced someone for this. It's going to be interesting to find out exactly what they do. They say it's sickening, and I agree with them 100%.
That is. It's awful.
He was 42, and
I mean, you didn't even call
an ambulance.
help for him or anything.
They die. He gets back and flees the scene and goes home. They arrest him later from dash cams.
Well, I mean, I don't guess he could get charged with their death, though.
Well, that's a good question of it.
Because he didn't hit them.
But he didn't help either.
That's right. I mean, he avoided calling anybody.
There's a law that is barely used there, and I don't remember the name of the law that goes into detail, but he's going to be charged with that new law virtually, and there hasn't been much sentencing done with that law, so that's where it all lies to find out what happens with this. So it's sad that people like that even exist that wouldn't help somebody. As we've mentioned several times this week, Minneapolis, the trial is going to be beginning this week as the George Floyd comes through there. And they have finally picked their first juror. And we pulled this up here. He's a chemist. He thinks Black Lives is too extreme, but he has never seen the video, he said. It's going to be hard to find many people like that. This is the guy here.
Yeah.
So we'll see where this goes in. And they've got 2,000 troops on standby in Minneapolis, which I think is not enough.
I just can't see it being. It's not. I don't think it's going to go well.
No, and it's not just going to be Minneapolis. This is going to be
it'll be widespread.
Yes, all across America. So expect
like we
this
need
stuff.
some extra chaos, but yeah, I got a feeling it will be widespread.
And speaking of that, of what happened with all those protest riots, however you want to call it, in that COVID bill, there's the money in there to rebuild all these cities where they stood back and watched them burn stuff and didn't do anything to stop them.
It's so much.
1.9 trillion.
Well, this morning I heard that there's a lot of things in there to like millions of dollars towards museums and
It is.
millions of dollars towards all kind of stuff that doesn't have a thing to do with COVID or helping people or anything other than, helping people, the American people.
Right.
So there was a guy, I guess one of the guys involved in doing the passing of the bill, and they asked, what is the money in there for museums? Well, we need to protect our history. We need to protect, really? Really?
You think?
We need to protect our history? Why not? Why not just, nobody's protecting the history with the statues.
No, they're not.
You're trying to, and then it's
Cancel culture.
Yeah, a bunch of money in there for libraries. Why? Why are we pulling books out of
That's right.
So, you're not protecting any of that. It's got to do with lining pockets of people.
We are slowly
We know that.
destroying America day by day by day by politicians that are put in that really don't represent the people anymore. There's no other way to word that.
Right.
Sad days are in store for America.
Well, if you want to know, I bet you the money going towards all these museums, they'll be redoing them and they'll be putting what they want in there.
Oh, absolutely.
So, that's basically probably what it's going to boil down to, and libraries too.
But they've done the same thing with that last one. Donald fought them, and they got some of it in there the last time. What did they do with that money? Is it gone or?
I mean, there's a lot. Like, I think there was a lot of money towards Amtrak. I don't know what all that's about, but supposedly there was a lot of money allotted in the last COVID relief thing, and they haven't even used that money. So why are they giving them more money? And
and a lot of this goes to foreign countries, and if I'm not mistaken, it also includes supplying money for abortions in other countries. I can't put my hand on a Bible on that, but I want to say I heard that, and if you know the answer to that, let me know. It's just not right.
I would not doubt it.
As we talk about freaks in the world, and I'm just going to call this a freak, this is strange that nothing has ever come of this. It makes its headline once again. Woody, he's a different character, Woody Allen. The girl that he raised is once again saying that he sexually abused me. One of the maids said that she walked in, he had his head in the lap of one of the young boys. I've just never been investigated to my knowledge. Woody Allen, I mean,
that's it. I don't even have really words, not good ones at least, towards something like this, because it just makes my blood boil.
But that's a headline, Woody Allen. That never got caught up in the Me Too and to where they were just stamping down on this shouldn't happen. So Woody Allen.
I think people who do that to children need the utmost penalty, and
yes,
they need. I can tell you a lot of stuff they need.
You're thinking,
but it would not be lawful.
Right? I see what you mean by that. But that's in the news today as well. Let's see here. This is good because this should have never happened in California. Kobe Bryant, of course, was killed in a plane, the helicopter crash with his daughter and several people, wasn't it?
Yeah.
His wife filed a lawsuit against the sheriff's department because deputies were sharing the pictures of him dead. And there's another way to word it. And she has won the case to find out who they were that shared them. And backlash is coming.
Yeah. People are sick that do this. I mean, we knew this happened locally, with one of the cases.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think it did. I'm not gonna name names, but I mean, everybody can understand.
Okay, you're talking about. Okay, I know what you're talking about now. And it was shared online.
Yeah, it was put out there, some
Right.
autopsy pictures,
Correct.
which I think.
And I'll just that's Christian Andrew.
Yeah, I didn't know if I should say names, but yeah, I mean that was a thing that happened locally, and I think
should have never happened.
It should have never happened, and they should be prosecuted. That is just total utmost disrespect of the family and everybody. And this goes for anybody's case. I just think it's horrible.
And
to put people through that.
Exactly.
I mean, that's just should never be shared.
Things need to be respected.
That's
And
right.
that is absolutely one of them. A shame on whoever did that. And
Yeah.
I don't know if anything will ever become of that. But she has won her step forward to take care of that. Now, as you get into these different companies that invent things, and I'm sure that there's a reason behind this headline that he's invented something or has stock in it in some kind of a way. But Mark Zuckerberg, who owns Facebook, is saying by the year 2030 it would help climate change if we would teleport and connect with people through goggles. Human interaction is everything. We cannot do away with that. And as we know, we go back to all of this climate change when Al Gore said it, I think it was 1993, that within 10 years, the world was coming to an end. Well, guess what? And if you remember, Rush Limbaugh put a clock on his internet page and clocked it down. What happened 10 years later? Nothing.
Yeah, I just think all this stuff, I mean, you can go too far. I know we have technology, and in a lot of ways it's been a good thing, and in a lot of ways it's been a very bad thing.
Right.
I mean, to take just the personal, people interacting with people over the phone or anything. I get so aggravated when I call and I just get a automated something. It drives me insane. If you have an issue with your computer or issue with your internet or something, and you call and you get an automated message that only gives you 3 options, which has nothing to do with what you need, and you can't talk to anybody. It's aggravating. So, I mean, I think that was a big downfall of our society when we started going to,
I agree with that.
letting technology take over, just completely take over.
It can be great. It's all in how you use things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that has a lot to do, too, with, I think, the way that people can't interact with each other. I mean, anymore. Like, everybody texts everything they want to tell somebody. They have no social skills. Like, some of the kids that are growing up, I mean, all they know is texting each other.
And text, as we all know, you can't get emotion out of that. It's
Right.
all in
You
how
don't know. I
phrase
mean, you
something.
could say something and it could mean 3 different things because you don't know how they meant it.
Right.
So I just think you can't nothing
Like
takes
when you
the place
text,
of.
what's for supper, and you don't get an answer.
Yeah. Well, Gert says, I think I got COVID. And I'm like, what? I think I got COVID. I can't smell supper. I'm like, you better hush.
See? Now, this is another example of technology, and although this is really great for our troops, it is, but what worries me is what if it falls into the hands of the wrong people? I'm sure that others are going to try to develop this, but the headline of the U.S. Army is they've developed high-tech goggles that let soldiers see through armored vehicles, which is great. That'll help protect our guys. Tanks coming at them, they'll be able to see what's in it, anything there. These goggles here will be able to see through any of that.
Yeah.
Now, is that not the neatest?
It's neat. If you see somebody with goggles on, you got something in your car
Yeah.
that you don't want them to see, you better go the other direction.
Now, and I have no idea how this stuff works. It is great technology,
Yeah,
but
that is neat.
But, also at the same time, think if that fell into the wrong hands.
Well, that's what I'm saying, I'm
Yeah.
just like,
And then, could you see through buildings?
I mean, who knows? Well, if you could see through a armored vehicle, you could probably see through
So
a
that
building.
makes you think, okay, do they need to do something to the outside of the White House where you wouldn't be able to see inside the White House
That's
to
scary.
see?
Yeah, it is scary because I know they have.
Or Capitol.
What did I call it earlier? Or you call it heat censored cameras or something where they can penetrate the ground and see stuff in the ground flying over and I know they have all kind of technology.
And they have it to where they can see in homes with the heat to see where the bodies are in a home. But I assume that they've built, you never know.
Yeah.
Great on one hand, but again, it does not need to fall into the hands of the wrong people,
That's right.
without a doubt. So, but I'm sure that will save lives for our troops tremendously. Let's see. Remember the pastor that said you chunky chicks
Oh,
need
yeah.
to lose weight?
Yeah.
Yeah. They told him go ahead and take him a little vacation. He has not been fired, but he is on leave right now from the church.
Well, that's what killed me is like he was talking about women need to lose weight and he looked like he ain't missed a meal. I mean,
Let's see here. Yeah, he hadn't missed
look,
no meals.
Does he look like he's slim and
No.
trim and
And if you're for the first time hearing this, he told the ladies in his congregation, and I assumed that this was online also, that they needed to lose weight and look more like Melania. How do you say it?
Melania.
Melania.
Yeah.
That they needed to look more like her. You don't do that.
Right.
Now, what'd you tell me about him dressing up?
Oh, well, I was listening to a talk show on the radio the other day and just going down the road. And they were talking about there was people who went to this church. And one lady said that he came out dressed in women's heels one day, walked out in women's heels so that he could kind of put himself in their place to see how it felt. to walk
Okay,
in their
then.
shoes.
I have never wanted to know how a woman felt in her shoes.
Yeah, I think that's kind of
Or her
odd.
pantyhose.
That's
or
a little bit odd, you know. But I mean, there's certain. I mean, I just think I've sat through sermons before that I thought they probably shouldn't have went there,
Right.
You know, because there's just certain things I believe, you know, you shouldn't. And from what I understand, this sermon had nothing to do with the Bible,
He was just giving his
like
opinion.
with scriptures. Yeah, there was no. So you know that there's that, but I don't think they should be saying stuff like that to
No.
women or anybody. And called Melania Trump a trophy wife, which I hate that term.
I've heard it all my life, though. And I know a few.
I hate that term, though. I'm sure there are women who are just there, but just because a woman is very beautiful and dresses good and stuff doesn't mean she doesn't have any kind of substance to her. Like she doesn't have a mind. And
Well, I'm thinking
has all
more
this
of the
stuff.
he's 92 and almost dead, and she's 20 and they marry is what I would call it.
Right. I mean, I see what you're talking about with that. But I don't look at her as a trophy wife. Now I think he's lucky to have her. Obviously, she's a beautiful lady. But I think she has a lot of things about her, a lot of qualities.
6 languages.
Stuff like that. And she's done a lot to help America.
Oh, look, somebody said,
him,
and she's smoking hot. I saw that go by.
Yeah.
She is a pretty woman.
She is very pretty. Very, very pretty.
But the preacher, I don't know, kind of lost his way there. And then, these freaky things of wanting to wear high heels and go out like that. You'll end up like David Carradine. You know who I'm talking about?
I know who you're talking about.
He was a karate specialist, and he was in a lot of movies, and he fought Chuck Norris in a lot of the movies that he was in. Yeah. And he ended up, they found him dead in a closet dressed in women's lingerie.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying this man is a cross-dresser. I ain't saying that. No. He put the heels on to make a point in his sermon. That was what they said. That's what the lady said.
And I ain't saying David Carradine done that. I'm just saying they found him dead with it on.
Yeah,
in a closet.
That's a little odd right there, but still, I just you can go overboard.
I would think so.
I think that's a little overboard.
As we move to New York for our next story, this is one of those headlines that I don't know if we will ever get the truth on this. Mm-hmm. They will do investigations, but who's heading up the investigations? As we look at the headline here, the families of all the nursing home victims do not want. How do you say his name? Cuomo. Okay, I was semi-close there. They want him to forfeit all money that he's going to make from his book deal.
I don't see him doing that.
That man, if he ain't walking, he ain't giving up his money.
He won't even step down.
No, and he's not.
He seems anybody that write a book in the midst of all that mess going on and try to benefit from it is probably money hungry, and I hardly doubt he's going to give up that money.
But I do agree with the families to where he ought to do something.
Yeah. But if he's smart, he'll put that money back for a rainy day because he's fixing to have some major thunderstorms.
And I don't know his background, if he comes from money. I don't know much about this man.
Yeah, but I don't know either.
This day and time to be an elected official, you either got to be rich or very rich people to get you there. He and his brother just rubbed me the wrong way. I think a lot of Americans feel that same way.
They're both they seem like they're untouchable. Say anything, do anything, when everybody was walking around criticizing everybody, and his brother was one of them criticizing people for not having a mask. He was up in the gym, just had coronavirus and was up in the gym or had it at the time. Yeah,
and it's not do what I say. It's do what I say. I'm going to do as I want. There's another way of wording that, but
that's don't do as I do as I say.
Yeah,
or something like that.
Yeah. I knew I would get it confused if I went there. Okay, this is the next news that is everywhere. Do Americans really care about this tiff going on with Britain? I know they're in America. They won't hush.
Yeah.
Oprah pushes them. 50 million people watched this the other night. Mm-hmm. As you go down through this, and they've broken it down here. If you want to read more about this, Daily Mail has it of what the Queen said and what it means. You get down in here, the whole family is saddened to learn the full extent of how challenging the last few years is what she said. And they break it down of people that know the Queen and said that what she really was putting out there, she is saddened by it, developments. And then it says the Queen, as you go on down here, about that she's going to do her own investigation into who might have said the remarks. What they go on in the article to say is the Queen knows who said it. She's already talked to them and gotten their side of the story, and we'll dig deeper, but most likely this is kind of blown out. And Piers Morgan walked out on his job of Good Morning Britain in the middle of it over that.
They said he's done. He's not coming back. They said he was not coming back.
And he runs this Daily Mail website. He's the head of that. He takes care of that. And, he does the news good. He did make it on CNN in America, and he went back over there and done well.
He'll probably come up with another show because he has Ozzy Osbourne's wife, Sharon Osbourne, backing him now. So I feel like he will.
And he tweeted this morning. He goes, "I've had time to think about what I said yesterday, and yes, she still lied."
Yeah.
He stands by it.
Well,
I think she took a little truth of something and blew it out of proportion? She has ruined that family.
Well, she might be a little boy the rabbit crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know though. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what's going on? I'm not real concerned with it myself.
I didn't watch it.
But I mean, it is a news story, and a lot of people are talking about it right now. But I don't think it's gonna.
It's not going to affect our lives one way or
Right,
the other.
and it is like some people said. It's kind of hard to feel sorry for somebody that is in a neighborhood with they're living in a neighborhood where they have multi-million-dollar homes, and I mean, they really have not.
Where you miss a couple hours worth of work, you may not eat.
You know what?
Different.
And they say that he is not becoming a prince because he's not a direct descendant of the throne.
The firstborn boy becomes it, and then his children.
But now, if Prince Charles goes in as king, he will become. He should have been labeled a prince. This is what I heard yesterday. But who knows? They might have messed this up for him, for the kid, by all this controversy.
And it could skip Charles.
I don't know.
But yeah, it's a lot of made up stuff. I do believe they took something and blew it up into this. It's like most things that you read in headlines across America today. Reporters, how they rush in and they'll take something they hear and try to push it off as the truth.
Well, people just wear their emotions on their sleeve nowadays, and if they can, by one phrase or one sentence, if they can blow it out of proportion and benefit from it in some kind of way, they're going to do it. I'm just sick of it. I'm just like, people get bent out of shape over somebody saying something. Get over it. Get over it. And
use your man card.
Like, get over it.
Hey, and a lot of, you see this a lot online of where they're starting man church and where they're trying to teach men to be men again.
Right.
Because men aren't always, and as you can look at Harry and tell, he don't wear the pants up in that relationship at all. Well, he needs a man card.
My thing is, like, I've always told this to my kids. They'd come home, oh, so-and-so said so-and-so to me. They called me stupid. I'm like, are you stupid? I just asked the question, are you stupid? And they're like, no. Then why are you worried about it?
Yeah, going back to business.
I mean, I just get over it. Teach your kids to be able to handle situations and stuff. I mean, and not be whiners.
But, I clearly believe in identity. There's a place for everyone in America, and sometimes you got to stand up and be a man.
Right.
And there have been so many who haven't been.
Yeah.
And I mean that being a father of a household. You got to do your part.
Yeah.
In other headlines, I assume this lady will get it once she's cleared. Mm-hmm. Lady Gaga offered the $500,000 for her dogs. This lady found them tied to a lamppost and returned them to the police. They do believe in the beginning that she has no ties to them, but they're investigating it 100% before they give her the money. Mm-hmm. But you never know how deep rings are, and they saw that they could get more money doing it that way.
Why would you steal dogs and tie them to a lamppost?
Yeah.
And leave them for somebody else to find? That makes no sense.
The story goes on to say that maybe it was a gang initiation, that they had to go steal the dogs for initiation into a gang. I don't know whether I believe that or not.
Yeah.
But the dogs were kidnapped. Somebody was murdered. And gangs do things like that, I know. But there's no reason at this point, they said, to tie the woman to the people that stole them. Let's hope not.
Yeah, hope not.
Let's hope all that works out. Now, I don't know that I could be a cab driver, number one.
I could not. I couldn't. I say I couldn't. And now, would I, if I was starving to death or my kids were starving to death?
Use your car.
I might.
But the Uber thing is caught on, especially in these big cities. There may be one in Meridian that I'm not aware of. We may have it. I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. But this is the headline here, and you watch this. Let me reboot this to where you can see a quick little show of what this poor guy goes through. And again, this is his car, how he's making his living, and these people cough on him. Look at this. Here's the video, and I'm scared to play the video because I don't know what the language is being said there. But they're leaning up there, coughing on him, trying to take his phone.
I'd have found the nearest car wash, and I'd have got one of them hoses.
Yeah.
And I'd have opened the door, and I'd have...
Got him. But...
I could not do that. Lord, I couldn't do it.
So, next time, and those guys, you see it all the time in the news of people that are cussed and hit.
I don't understand that. Like, I don't understand... I mean, I could understand if it was somebody. Well, I don't understand people treating people like that.
Correct.
Number one, but it's not like this guy has to do this. He chooses to be an Uber driver.
Right.
It's not like he works for a cab company that is like he's driving their cab.
Yeah.
This is his vehicle. I mean, I've seen one woman refuse to get out of a car, and
Well, it was a politician that done that not long ago
It
in
was-
Washington or somewhere.
Yeah, it was something. I can't remember. They were acting ugly to the driver, and
said,
he was
"Get
going
out."
to put them out, and they were like, "No, I ain't getting out."
She called the cops on him, and they told her
Right, yeah.
quickly that he owned it. She had to get out.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so I don't know.
Let's see. Ryan Brown wants a pair of those goggles that we were talking about earlier this morning. I don't blame you. Boy, that'd really help out. Damon Reagan said that technology is great. His wife is a traveling nurse. It is. You know, when I was in Ohio on the road, I got to talk to JJ every night. He'd come up and get up there to bark at me
Yeah,
back in the day.
technology is good. It's good for a lot of things, and then it's kind of not so good for some things. But
Yeah, it's just all in abuse, I think is the word. Am I doing that right?
yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, I thought I'd share that with you. Some other things that are going on today, as we mentioned, the food giveaway is today, begins at 11, so line up early. That'll begin at the Ag Center at 2 o'clock today. Now, South Dakota is going to do the same thing that Mississippi has done and ban the transgender from girls' sports. And you'll have to have your parents sign each year that you were born of this sex to be able to play in sports in South Dakota. This is a woman to watch, I think, in the next 4 years.
I've said a bunch. I think she would make either a good vice president.
Speaker of the House.
Yeah, she would be great at something like that.
But
I
we'll
think.
watch her. I think you'll see Donald, because he has said that there's possibility he may choose a woman in his next run. She'd be a good one there. The airlines are pushing Joe to have vaccine passports. When you buy your airline ticket, you would have to show that you've had your vaccine. So, and I guess that would be good.
Yeah, I know
I guess
everybody's able to gather in large gatherings too if they've had their.
And then the flip side of that is people say, well, that's my right as American. I get to do that
know.
anyway. And,
Yeah.
and I don't have all the answers for that, but that is in the works. This one, I don't know. What do you think this could really work?
I don't see how that would be possible.
They say it is
how?
proved 98% of the time correct. It's an app on your phone, and you cough into your phone, and what they've gone in is recorded people with this who have COVID and recorded their coughs, and they do a cross reference, and it tells you whether or not you have it.
I just think that's far fetched, but
Technology, it may work. I don't know.
I mean, but what if it's not accurate? It says 98% accurate, but I
What
mean,
if you're in
I
that
find
2%?
that. Yeah, I find that hard to believe. So I don't know. That's crazy.
Joe tends to forget people's names when he's out in places, and it's becoming. And you made a good example of this. Was it yesterday, or the day before he done this? He called this guy, the guy who runs that outfit over there.
Yeah, the outfit over there was the Pentagon. Okay, it's not like it was some unmarked building that nobody knew about or whatever. You know, the Pentagon.
Yeah, he couldn't remember his name or where he worked at. So that's what's leading our country there, folks.
That's scary.
Thanks to those
Very
75
scary.
million that they said voted for him.
Good job.
Let's see.
Good job.
This is a win for Christians. I see this as a positive thing. The Supreme Court ruled that a Georgia student had the right to hand out Christian literature. So many times you see to where Christian pamphlets are denied, but they'll let the left hand out anything they want. So
Yeah.
he took it to court and won. He can now hand out his pamphlets there at college. That's good.
That is good. Very good.
Now, this is a stink that's going on. Donald told them, the rhinos, which is basically, and I forget the exact way his word is, a negative term for the law. Republicans in name only is what it means. A rhino is what that means. And Donald released a statement, sent them all letters yesterday, and said, do not use my name or likeness anymore to raise money. The Republican National Convention sends him a letter back and said, we're going to do it. We can do that. And so Donald goes, oh, yeah? So he sends out a message yesterday that says, do not give any more to the Republican National Convention. Send it to this PAC that I've got, and we'll disperse the money to where it needs to go to the right people running for office. I think they've picked on the wrong guy.
Yeah, I think so too.
Whether you like him or not, he is the Republican Party right now.
Yeah, they want their cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
And
And Donald is showing them, listen to me or you will pay.
yeah.
He's going after Alaska first.
Well, I mean, I think that's only right. You're going to sit there and bash him. not support him, not back him, but you're going to benefit from him.
Yeah.
No.
And, I see a lot of comments out there that said, well, the Republicans had everything, the House and the Senate, and done nothing. You're absolutely right. They didn't. Those are the people that need to go out of the Republican Party that didn't back him to where he could have gotten so much done in that first 100 days, but they wouldn't do it.
When they talk about draining the swamp, I mean, there's needs to be some draining on both sides.
There's gators on both sides of that
That's
fence.
right.
And as Rush, before he died, was talking about that, and he said a lot of that dealt with a lot of these Republicans really believed of the Russian collusion in those early days. He goes, they believed it. And he said, of course, it was false, but he goes, they did believe it. And he said that dealt with a lot of it.
Yeah.
So we mentioned this story yesterday where Joe had to send his dogs on back home, and we couldn't think of the town, and that's why I put it in here today. He is from Delaware. I've just never really studied a lot up on Joe. And I apologize for that, not knowing where he was from, but I didn't. But they were aggressive. They bit somebody in a security guard. Don't think it was harmful, but he did nip them, and they sent him home. He had yelled at other security guards, too, I think. The rescue dogs are gone. He needs to get him a JJ that couldn't hurt a fly.
Oh, sweet JJ.
This guy is going to jail for about 12 years here is what he's going to get. He held a party. It dealt with paintings, and there was a fire, and 36 people died in it. He'll get house arrest for 12 years. Better than being in prison, I guess.
Yeah.
But still, 36 people lost their lives to his negligence.
So he'll pretty much still get to do what he wants to do.
From
I mean,
home.
with limits, I guess. I don't know what
You
kind
just
of
can't
limits.
leave your home, but
Well, there's people that's left their home on house arrest, though.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
So.
Burger King, and again, this is going to be in Britain is where this happened. It's not America, in the UK. But they meant well by this, and what they were trying to say is we're going to hire more ladies to work to be chefs because it's very few that are chefs that work for Burger King. Well, it backfired. The tweet said women belong in the kitchen, and it ruffled a few feathers there.
Yeah. I can see where that would ruffle some feathers. I mean,
Well, but, and I have to admit, I grew up during a time where that was just, men didn't do that. Men got fed first, and ladies came to the table later. And I know times have changed.
Yeah. Well, my thing is, if you can, when you see a phrase like this, see how they intended on it to be.
Yeah, they jumped on that.
If they intended on it to be like ill, in an ill way, you know what I'm saying?
That's different.
But all these women's rights people who jump on the bandwagon with stuff like this, where are you at when men are trying to dress like women and be in the sports and take your stuff away? Where are you at? I mean, if it's enough of you to make a national, point with something like this, stand up and defend women's rights.
Jerry Clower one time talking about he went and done a show, and it was like it was a national show, and he was back in the green room, and he said sitting next to me was the she-coon of them all. She was a women's liberal.
Yeah.
And he goes, I thought about Homer Lean. He said, Homer Lean is sitting at home right now. She has a maid. He said, she ain't got to do anything she doesn't want. He goes, she's got a brand new Lincoln Continental that she can drive anytime she wants. He goes, she don't want no women's lib. He goes, the woman's got it made.
Yeah.
And I'm with Homer Lean on that. That would have been a great life.
Yeah.
But, and I'm not saying I don't believe that women should do this, women shouldn't do that. They have a right to do anything they want. We're all created equal.
Right. I think women can do whatever they set their mind to. If they want to be in the kitchen all day cooking, have at it.
And there's men that do
if
that.
I was at home, I'd probably cook a lot more than I cook now. But I just,
We've reached a point in society to where you can hardly afford for only one person in the family to work. And we did that for 20 years in our marriage, and we didn't have anything.
Yeah,
nothing.
Yeah, there was a lot. I mean, a lot of women sacrifice. A lot of families, not just women. The family sacrifices a lot to let the woman stay home a lot of times. I know.
And we did that in the beginning for the kids, so
Well,
they'd be reared right.
Well, my oldest son, when he was like 4.5 months old, was really sick, got really sick, and I had to quit work and come home for at least a year. And that was hard. It was hard times. I mean, but we did it and we made it through it. And, I was glad to be able to stay home with him. But I choose really to work. I like to get out and go, But there's women years ago that most of them did stay home. And there's a lot of them who still stay home to this day, and that's a great thing. But
Well, they get mad when you whip out that good housekeeping thing about what women ought to do from the 50s.
Yeah, there is. But it's a hard thing when you work or when you both work and you come home and you got to do a lot of stuff that, a lot of women could probably get done during the day when they're not working, if they don't work. But you just double time it and you do it and you work through it. So
The strangest sign that I've seen in the last 10 years, I was in a little town due south of San Antonio, and I know why they put it, but if you didn't know when you walked in, it would blow you away. I had to rent, and this is expensive. I had to rent. The only place in town to rent was one of those little FEMA campers, and it was at a trailer park. $500 a week is what I paid to stay there because there was nowhere else in the town to stay.
A week?
A week.
Oh, my gosh.
They were making, you had to work, you had to sleep.
Yeah.
And in the laundromat of that place was a sign that said, no women allowed in here after 3 o'clock. And what that meant was the wives that stayed in the campers come out there and wash their clothes, and the guys that come in from working the oil fields needed to wash their clothes, and they were in there. I know, but that wouldn't fly too well now. And that was just 4 or 5 years ago I saw that.
Yeah.
But it was a big sign, no women allowed. I thought, whoa.
Yeah.
I didn't take a picture because I didn't want to cause no stirrings. But
I'm sure they meant it in a good way.
they
though,
did.
To
Was
protect
just,
the women.
It was basically if you're here all day, take care of your stuff before now instead of waiting everybody to get off is what they meant
Right.
when they need to wash their clothes to go to work the next morning.
Yeah.
But if you would just read the sign, you would have never picked up on that. Well, as the grass is growing, our friends out at Freeman Tractor want you to swing by and take a look at their big selection. I was there yesterday afternoon, talked to them, got to see that whole new line there. Cole and Buttermilk are hard at it out there, showing off these new lawnmowers. And if you need a lawnmower right now, it's the time to see Freeman Tractor. Drop in. Starting at $29.99, they can get you into an X mark there, that beginning model there. Get your grass cut, sweep. It's great. Along with other models to choose from there, they've got the Radius. If you want one of those 52-inch up to 60-inch cuts down your grass cutting time dramatically.
It does.
And of course the Skag, they begin at $46.99. They've got several cheetahs in stock, the Tigers, great, have double tanks, have a little switch that you bump that turns the other gas tank on to where you don't have to go fill up at the house.
That's good.
How neat is that?
Yeah, that is neat.
As I said, several different models to choose from in those Skags. Tractors, they got a whole bunch of these. If you're needing a whole new tractor, they've got them with buckets, with bush hogs, equipment to choose from there. Disc, if you're going to be doing the garden this year, yours has had it. See them. They've even got parts for your old one if you need to replace a blade. Forks, they've got it all, including the Benchy, where you can get 0% for 60 months. Drop in and see these. You can get them with air conditioning, heating, the 550 models, the 750 models there, 626-8759. Take the short drive. Take a left off of Highway 19 there at the fire department at Sickalina, and it will take you to Freeman Tractor. Again, talk to Cole Buttermilk, and they will help you pick out exactly what you need today.
That's right.
Now, let's see here. What are we forgetting today? We got food giveaway at 11.
Don't forget that.
You're cutting hair.
I'm cutting
and you're
hair.
going to be nice the rest of the day, right?
Yeah. I'm always nice, though. I am. I'm very nice.
Oh, I know you
Unless
are.
somebody's disrespectful to me, and then I get my feathers ruffled just a little bit.
I'm just pulling for you there. Again, we want to say thank you to each and every one of you for watching this morning. Share, follow, all that good stuff. And we'll be here when the weather gets bad, and we'll be back tomorrow morning with more news, and we'll keep you with updates of what's going on throughout the nation and in the area right here.
That's right. Keep you informed at all times, and we hope y'all have a wonderful, blessed day.
Scotty Ray's Weather is brought to you by